Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm diving into one of the most crucial elements in show jumping, keeping your horse's shoulders from falling in on turns and ensuring a balanced, supple and powerful canter as you approach your fence. This was a big focus in my recent training session with Pablo and Ben Netterfield, my equestrian performance and mindset coach. Ben helped me unravel how easily things can fall apart when the fundamentals aren't in place, especially when it comes to shoulder control. A quick heads up before we start, some of the footage in the video is a bit blurry as my camera struggled to focus again today. I hope it doesn't take away too much from the content. Let's break down my session, some key takeaways and how to work through both the physical and mental aspects of improving my riding and Pablo's performance. We started the session by focusing on getting Pabs supple and responsive. It's all about laying the groundwork early. If your horse isn't responsive to your leg or doesn't have the softness through his body, it's like trying to build a house on shaky ground. It just won't hold up when you need it.
That's it.
We focused on circle work and bending. Getting Pablo to bend and stretch his body is essential. We did shoulder ins and outs, transitions between gaits and lots of work on leg yields. This helps loosen up his shoulders and makes him more adjustable, which is especially critical when we get into the turns before a fence. This warm-up allowed us to address one of Pablo's key weaknesses. His shoulders tend to fall in, especially in left turns. If your horse is dropping in, you're already compromising your line to the fence, and it becomes much harder to get a straight approach. As we moved into the jumping part of the session, things started falling apart. We warmed up over a cavalier and a small vertical, which went smoothly, but when we shifted to a more complex turn to a vertical, we lost the canter rhythm and connection, and sure enough, Pab's left shoulder fell in, making our approach crooked. This unbalance led to multiple stops because he was underpowered in the canter and his body wasn't straight enough to navigate the fence correctly. We lost our rhythm and control in the turns, which meant I couldn't set him up properly for the next fence.
Good boy.
Here's the critical takeaway. You can't jump properly if your horse isn't straight or balanced. If the shoulder falls in, your canter becomes weak and you lose the impulsion you need to get a clean jump. So here's what we focused on to fix this. Focus on using my leg aids for control. If Pab's shoulder is falling in, I have to use my inside leg to push him out and realign the shoulders. Don't let the turn dictate the line to the fence. I need to use my aids to guide Pablo back to a straight path.
Remember, where is he looking? Where am I going?
Recognising when the shoulder falls in. I need to be able to feel when Pabs is falling in. His left shoulder was particularly tricky, and I struggled to recognise it in the heat of the moment. The first step in fixing it is simply acknowledging when it happens. Work on canter adjustability. It's vital to maintain the canter's power and adjustability. If the canter weakens, I lose everything: balance, rhythm and the ability to clear the fence. We worked on keeping Pab's energy in the canter, getting him more collected and making him more responsive to my aids. Now, let's talk about the mental side of this, which was a huge part of my session. When we had multiple stops, I immediately felt frustrated. 6 or more stops will do that to you. I started doubting myself and feeling like I wasn't good enough for this horse. The what-ifs started creeping in. What if I'm ruining him? What if I'm not capable of fixing this? Here's what helped me. Stop beating myself up. The worst thing I can do after multiple stops is get angry with myself. That frustration leads to poor decision making. I had to stop and take a breath. I realised I was allowing my emotions to cloud my ability to feel what was happening in the moment. Refocus on action. Instead of focusing on the frustration of the stops, I needed to redirect my energy toward what I could control, feeling the shoulder fall in and making a clear decision to correct it. By consciously focusing on the actions I needed to take, not the mistakes, I started to regain my confidence. And lastly, visualise success. When I was stuck in the mental loop of I can't get this right, Ben helped me shift my focus. I began visualising a clear and balanced approach to the jump, soft hands and allowing Pabs to move forward. On our 4th attempt at the vertical, things finally came together. I committed to keeping Pab's shoulders straight. I kept him forward and I trusted him and myself. He popped over the fence and repeated the success a few more times. This session really drove home 3 key points. Trust in your horse and yourself. Trust that you can fix the problem and don't hesitate or second guess your aids. Horses pick up on our uncertainty and that leads to more issues. Commitment in the canter. A strong, steady canter is the foundation for a good jump. Working on maintaining that energy and adjustability through the turns, even when things get tricky. And most importantly, mental resilience. Don't let stops defeat you. Use them as learning opportunities. If you feel yourself falling into frustration, stop, breathe and refocus on the specific action steps you can take to improve. And that's that. I hope you found today's vlog helpful. Whether it's working through shoulder control issues, improving your horse's balance and suppleness, or tackling your own mental hurdles in the saddle. Remember, progress isn't always linear, but every challenge is an opportunity to become a better rider. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.